Good morning, guys. My name's David, and this is Fate Unbound, and I am enjoying another gorgeous summer morning here in Oregon. I'm tucked up into the mountains of the Clatsop State Forest, just 5 miles away from the Columbia River and the border with Washington State to the north, and about 20 miles from the Pacific coast to the west. While much of the country is dealing with a heat wave, hot temperatures, I've escaped to the mountains near the coast, where the highs are only in the mid-60s. And it's funny, here in the Pacific Northwest near the coast, the mornings will start out foggy and cloudy, but as the sun comes out, it will burn those clouds and that fog away, and it will just lead to a beautiful blue sky and a clear day. But then in the evening, that fog and the clouds tends to come back. But I'm really banking on the sun burning off all the clouds, because the little adventure that my dog Sweetie and I are gonna go on later depends on it. Love bacon and eggs over easy. I didn't have any toast or potatoes to go with it. I'm running a little low on some of the staples that I cook with all the time. But like, as far as other resources go, I'm really low on water. I'm on E, and so I'm gonna need to get water from somewhere. There's not a lot of sources I've found in this area for water, but there is a state park out on the northwest tip of Oregon. I forget what it's called, Fort Smith or something like that. And I'm hoping they're gonna have water. Typically state parks have water. And I also really want to go and explore that on a later date. It looks super cool, lots of neat history. But my other resources, like propane, totally good on. I have plenty of propane for a couple weeks, and my electricity, my batteries are at like 75%, maybe a little more, because of these nice sunny days. The weather here has been beautiful, so my panels up on the roof have been able to keep my batteries charged up. Yeah, bringing in between 30 and 40 amps just constantly throughout the entire day. Summer is awesome. I rarely ever have to worry about power in the summer, but winter is a whole different story. But the sky is clearing up perfectly. There's barely any clouds in the sky now, which is perfect, because Sweetie and I are gonna go on a little adventure. We're gonna drive up to the top of the highest nearby mountain. It's called Nikolai Mountain. It's only like straight line distance, 4-ish miles to our, what would that be, southeast. But we have to like leave this part of the mountains, get on Highway 30, take that east a little bit, and then enter the mountains another direction to get up to Nikolai Mountain. And I'm super excited because I'm hoping that there's going to be like a 360-degree view up there, since it is the highest peak in this area. Hopefully getting views of Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams. I always want to get to the top. Wherever like I'm camping in, I want to get to the top of that area. And if there's a really tall mountain, a highest point nearby, I want to get up there too, because that is where the greatest and most epic views are. Speaking of resources, and specifically power resources, I want to really quickly tell you guys about a crazy deal going on for the brand new BLUETTI Elite 100 V2. Until July 8th, BLUETTI is letting these things go for only $399, when the regular price is $599 after July 11th. I've talked a lot about portable power stations on this channel, and you regular viewers know that I have a power station on hand for when my solar panels just aren't bringing in a lot of power and my battery bank in this travel trailer starts to drain down. I can pull out my BLUETTI power station to power my computer for when I still need to do video editing and other computer work. The Elite 100 V2 has a capacity of 1,024 watt hours, and a maximum output of 1800 watts. And so you can trust it for backup power in a pinch. But also, if you're a tent camper, this is an excellent power station to take with you to the campsite because it is so lightweight. It only weighs 25 pounds and it has a convenient handle on the back to carry it. It's also ultra quiet with only a sound output of 30 decibels when it is under a 600 watt output of power. And what I love about this power station is that you can charge it back up with solar with up to 1000 watts of solar input. And if you provide it with its maximum charge possible, you can charge this power station up to 80% in only 45 minutes. And this thing boasts a 10-year lifespan with over 4,000 battery cycles. And what I love about this power station is it is powerful enough to plug your entire rig into and power your entire rig if you need to. So if you guys are looking for backup power to your house batteries on your RV, like what I have with my BLUETTI portable power station, or if you are wanting a lightweight power station to take with you when you're tent camping, then definitely check out the BLUETTI Elite 100 V2. Again, if you get one before July 11th, it's only $399, down from $599. That is a crazy deal, and I'll post links in the video description below. What Sweetie and I are gonna do later, we need the sky to be clear and all of the fog to be gone. Trust me, it's important. And so, in the meantime, while we wait for all that to clear up, I'm gonna do a little work on the trailer. Since I'm gonna be visiting my brother and his wife here soon, I'm gonna take that opportunity where I'm at their house and have access to all of his tools to change the brakes out on my trailer. This thing's got somewhere between 60 and 80,000 miles on it. It's hard to tell, I haven't been keeping track, but it's safe to say that in the 8 years I've owned it as a full-time RVer, it's got a lot of miles on it. And these are hard miles too, through the mountains. And so I'm gonna check my brakes and, more importantly, my hubs and drums, because I'm certain that my brake pads are gonna need replaced. And so I'm gonna replace that whole assembly, but I'm not sure whether or not my drums and the wheel bearings inside the hubs are good too. And so I'm just gonna pop this wheel off and take a look, and then assume that the rest are probably in similar condition. Now I've already got the entire brake backing plate assemblies ordered. They're not too terribly expensive. It was $400-ish for all four. But the drum and hub assemblies are a much bigger investment for these four. It would be another $700 on top of that. And so if these don't need to be replaced, then I'm not gonna replace them. But the brake shoe assemblies certainly do need replaced. If you guys are curious about the procedure on repacking your wheel bearings with grease, a long time ago, about 5 years ago, I made a video on that. I'll put a link down in the description. So you can check that out. It is super important that you keep your wheel bearings greased. You can see my grease, you know, they're packed with grease. There's a lot of grease in there, which is good, but it does look pretty old. And this front bearing is loose in there, so when we take this drum off, you kind of want to have your hand under there just in case that bearing falls out. The rear bearing is held in by a double lip seal, so you don't need to worry about that one. Yeah, see, that bearing wanted to fall out. You definitely don't want that hitting the ground. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's not great. That's not what I was expecting. The brake pads seem to be in pretty good condition and have a little bit of life left on them. But the back seal on my drum has completely let loose and released grease all inside this in this brake assembly. I've recently noticed a pretty drastic reduction in the strength of my brakes, of my trailer brakes, And I think I know why now, because at least one of them is slathered in grease. Grease is built up on the leading edge of the front pad here. You can see all that. The front face of the magnet clearly has been affected by this, and the drum unfortunately has some pretty deep grooves in it that I can feel. However, the bearings look great. There's no noticeable pitting or damage to the front bearing, and its race looks really good too. So the bearings are in good condition, but because of all of this, because of the grease letting loose in that assembly, yeah, I think I do need to replace that drum. And yeah, that's a bummer because it's a tough pill to swallow. That, like I said, those drum and hub assemblies are $700 for all four. Thankfully, eTrailer.com does have them. I checked. And so I'm ready to buy them from them. You know, it's just part of owning a travel trailer or any vehicle really. You know, the brakes eventually need to be changed. And yeah, I've gotten 8 years, 60 to 80,000 miles off of them. I'm just surprised at how much life is left on these brakes. It's pretty crazy. If those seals would have held, man, I've actually got a decent amount of time left on these. But all right, the sky is looking a lot clearer now, so I'm gonna get this wheel put back together and then head out. Holy smokes, you guys. I'm not exaggerating when I say this might be the coolest campsite I've ever found. You have just a breathtaking view of the Oregon State Forest to the south, just a panoramic view of these gorgeous forested mountains. And then off to the west, you can see the Columbia River where it lets out into the Pacific Ocean. And then I thought that I would get a view of Mount St. Helens, maybe Mount Adams from up here, but I was pleasantly surprised that to the east and a little south, you can actually see Mount Hood. And then way off to the southeast, that poking up over the horizon is the tip of Mount Jefferson. This is breathtaking. I'm at about 3,000 feet elevation here, and just the entire 180-degree view to the south is just completely open. It's breathtaking. My jaw literally dropped when I got up here. There are actually 3 campsites up here at the very top, and they're all completely empty right now on 4th of July weekend. This is a weekend that's very popular for camping, and every one of these sites is completely open. I've seen some off-road vehicles come through here. Not through these campsites, but like on the way up here, I passed some off-road vehicles, but that's it, man. This is, it's just crazy. It's a little difficult to get to just because the roads are so steep, but I'm pretty sure I could get my trailer up here no problem. You can see the side behind me is completely open to the sun, but if you want to get into the trees a little bit, you can just walk right on in and bam, you're in the trees, you're in the shade. Whoops, I caught the camera on a stick, but it's a lot cooler in here, and it'd just be fun to walk around here and explore this whole mountaintop, man. This is super cool. And there were a few really cool campsites on the way up here too, the road that led up here. And I do share the GPS coordinates of the campsites that I find, and I will share this one too with my patrons and channel members here on YouTube. So yeah, you guys will get these GPS coordinates. This is breathtaking. This is just amazing. Now, normally, if I found a campsite this beautiful, I would move to it immediately. This is one of my favorite pastimes, is just searching around for the most jaw-droppingly beautiful campsites, and I found one. And so yeah, I would usually go right back to camp, hook up the trailer, and get my butt up to the top of this mountain. But I'm not staying here much longer. I'm only here for a few more days, and then I'm heading up to Seattle, Washington for my baby niece's first birthday. And so it's just not really worth it to go break down camp, spend an entire day hauling up here just to have to leave in a few days. And so I'm really bummed out, you guys. I really am. I mean, I'm excited, don't get me wrong. I'm super stoked that I even found this place, because I've just got a list on my Google Maps. I've got dots all over the country of my favorite places to not just camp, but for me, live, since you know, I'm a full-time RVer. This is what makes it worthwhile for me, is finding these amazing places that I can pull my entire home to and live there. You better believe I've got this site marked though, and I will be back. You guys mark my words, I will be back here, maybe later in the year, after the summer heat, because it's actually just starting to get a little too hot to be here, considering I'm only at 3,000 feet, only on top of this mountain, I'm only at 3,000 feet. And so that's just not high enough elevation to get through the hotter parts of July and August, but I might be back here in September. Oh man, you guys, it is so hard to leave here, but I will be back. One day, I will drag my entire home up here. Oh man, I am so excited for this dinner. It is a butter, garlic, pasta recipe. Use a ton of butter, ton of garlic, and it makes this really thick, creamy sauce. I, like to pair it with shrimp or some other seafood, and I usually put chopped up baby Bella mushrooms in it too. Not chopped, just sliced. Sliced Bella mushrooms also, but I didn't think ahead enough last time I was at the store, and so I didn't have any of those on hand, but I had everything else to make it, and I don't know, it just sounded like it was gonna hit the spot. Oh yeah, I love that really thick, creamy, buttery sauce. That's so good. And while I was on my way home, I got a notification that Teresa had bought me a beer. So swung into a convenience store and picked myself up a beer because I didn't have any. So thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. Cheers, guys. Oh, I can't believe how awesome that campsite was up there. Like, that just blew my mind. I thought it was gonna be really great because it's, the highest point in kind of this area, and so it was gonna have a great view from all directions, but I wasn't expecting to be able to see Mount Hood and Mount Jefferson from up there. And having a view of those, just massive mountains in the Cascades was just super cool. And then from different spots on that mountain, you could also see Rainier, St. Helens, and Mount Adams. And so you could see 5 mountains from up on that hill. And so just super cool. It hurts me that I can't camp there now, but I'll be there eventually, man. But if you guys enjoyed the video and you'd like to buy me a beer, you can go through that QR code right there, and I'll also drop a link in the description in case you want to get there that way. But I'm going to enjoy the rest of my dinner, take it easy for the rest of the night, and yeah, just enjoy the little bit of time I've got left in Oregon. Oh man, today has been a long day, but a good one. I got a lot of good stuff done. Went, did some awesome exploring and found an incredible campsite. And so, yeah, I'm feeling really good about today. Yeah, today was a good day. Ate some delicious food, got to hang out with my best buddy too. Man, this is kind of one of those days where I feel like, yeah, this is why I do this. I really enjoy maintaining my stuff, taking care of my home on wheels. I love spending time with my best friend Sweetie here, and yeah, one of my absolute favorite pastimes is just searching around and finding awesome campsites. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I bought that ATV I have, is so I can hop on that thing and just cruise all around the national forests and the deserts for all the best sites without having to take my big, heavy, lumbering diesel pickup truck. So yeah, today was a really good day. And while the campsite that I'm in right now isn't really the coolest, it's basically a stone quarry. Clearly it's where they've blasted out and just carved out this area to use the rocks they get for maybe gravel on the roads or just whatever. This is basically a stone quarry. There's some like pools in this site, some water pools, and every night these frogs come out, and I haven't been able to see any, but I can hear them, and they sound like this. it's really neat. I can hear them outside right now, and I can just hear them all through the evening, and then they start in the morning right at dawn also, and it's just a really cool sound, and I enjoy it a lot. If you guys enjoyed the video, then please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. I only have 3 days at this campsite left, and then I'm heading off to visit my brother and sister-in-law for my baby niece's first birthday. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name's David. This is Sweetie, and this is Fate Unbound, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Sweetie, are you gonna say bye to the people? Boo! Good girl. We'll see you guys. Man, I'm tired, pup. Let's go to bed. Let's get ready for bed.